So Ridley Scott did one, and he did it with Russell Crowe. We had another one which was done by Mel Brooks. We've had a Disney one which is animated with anthropomorphic characters. And we had another one with the guy who did The Postman. Yeah. And it's 2018, and apparently we can't go a decade without one. We have another one here. What am I talking about? 2018's Robin Hood. So 2018's Robin Hood reimagines the character once again as Robin Hood gets drafted literally for the Crusades. It's gone for 4 years. Maid Madeline is no longer a maid, she's just Madeline. She has moved on. Robin comes back with the help of a Arab person named Jamie Foxx, who is this version's Little John. Why? And he does a lot of stuff to stop the Sheriff of Nottingham from taxation. And is this a Star Wars prequel? So yeah, this movie's bad. I want to be more angry about it, but the movie is just boring. One of the several problems with the movie is it doesn't know what it wants to be, and it doesn't explain anyone's characteristics. We go from automatically seeing that Madeline is trying to steal things from Robin Hood, falling in love literally in the same scene, having PG-13 kissing, and bad PG-13 kissing at that. You do open your mouth when you kiss, in case you didn't know. To him being drafted, meeting up with Jamie Foxx, who is trying to have a hilarious character, and every time he says his name to someone who's English. And I'm not gonna lie, this movie's so dumb. I kind of forgot that Robin Hood's name is Robin of Locksley, because half the time they're either calling him Rob. Jamie Foxx is always calling him English. I guess, whatever. Or they're calling him Hood, or the Hood, whatever now. This movie's not good. Let's try to break this down in a very sensible way. This movie's edited horribly. Every time there's some type of action going on, it can't sit still to focus on anything. So you get like that Jason Bourne stuff where they cut 900 times, but at the same time there's no focus on where you're at. There's a scene that's like ripped straight out of the Pirates of the Caribbean playbook, where their horses are traveling, or there's a horse run, and they're going through all these steps and ridiculous stuff, and they're going on rooftops, but they're cut so badly I couldn't tell what rooftop they're on or where they're at. And I was just freaking totally confused half the time about, like, well, I wasn't confused half the time, because after like 7 cuts in like 10 seconds, I just stopped caring. Ben Mendelsohn is in this movie. Yeah, he was funny in Ready Player One earlier this year, but he's playing the stock generic villain in this movie as well. And it was just like, why? And actually, this movie, his performance here, is very reminiscent of Jeremy Irons and Dungeons and Dragons. Go back and check it out. If you saw Dungeons and Dragons, you get that reference. But everything else is just like, oh, this movie, freaking Jamie Dornan is in this movie, fresh off of 50 Shades of I'm Going to Sleep, or 50 Shades of Fuck, I Don't Want to Have Sex Anymore. And he's not given much like everyone else. Characters are introduced, but not told who they are, or they never show who they are. Jamie Dornan's character was supposedly the leader of the town. And you didn't know that until the third act when he actually had to do something. And it's just like, wait, what? And that's indicative of this whole movie. Characters are introduced, or characters just show up without an introduction, and you're expected to know what they are. And it doesn't work that way. This movie steals a lot heavily, too. It steals a lot from Batman Begins. The ending steals from a character's development in The Dark Knight. And you just feel like, I just wasted a lot of my time. None of the action's good. The costume designing is the shits in this movie. They tried to do the Robin Hood stuff, but update it, and it doesn't work. Because half the time, they're trying to do stuff from that time period, which should be about the 1800s. But everyone has, or a lot of the people have clothing, like leather jackets and stuff from the 2000s. Like I said, they try to update Robin's name by calling him Rob. Eye-rolling induciveness. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense in this movie as well. And like any other bad movie, this movie has a scene that is set up to go for a franchise, and it was just like, oh, you misunderstood. This is not getting a sequel. What else was there bad in this movie? I don't know. The movie was overly long, but short in exposition. Oh, I liked him. I liked Taron Egerton. I liked the Kingsman movies. He was fine in this movie. He didn't upset me. But what did upset me was the writing of his character. This is a character who is supposed to hide his identity, but in one of the montages in this movie, he does his stuff where he's not hiding his face. Like, all he does is wear a bandana over his nose, and you can still see his eyes, and he has the hood, hence the term the hood. But there's one scene where he's running away from people, and he has his face completely exposed. And no one thinks, hey, wait, I know that guy. That's Egerton. Also, while they make this big deal that Robin Hood has to conceal his identity, Jamie Foxx. Okay, there's a movie taking place in the 1600s in England with a bunch of white people, and Robin Hood has to conceal his identity. Meanwhile, the black guy, Jamie Foxx, would either, I think it was tattoos on his face or scars or whatever. He goes out in public and helps Robin Hood, and no one thinks, oh wait, I've seen that guy a bunch of times, I think we better look out for him. No one does that. And the movie treats it as like nothing. This movie is freaking... I didn't hate this movie, I was just mostly bored by it, like I said. Is this the worst movie of the year? Hell no. Is this the worst big budget movie of the year? Well, it had a bigger budget than Venom, and it was just as bad as Venom, so maybe? But no, this is not the worst movie of the year. When you've seen movies like Bad Samaritan, what the hell is that movie? The Slender Man. When you've seen stuff like Assassination Nation or The Truly Awful, The Hate You Give, this movie's not even in the top 5, maybe in the top 15. But there's nothing really to grasp at. Even the updated stuff where everyone's holding their crossbows like it's a freaking rifle, or the fact that when there's a scene with a crossbow shooting out, it's meant to sound like a Gatling gun, that didn't bother me. This movie's just bad, and it's just plain bad, and it's boring. None of the characters have any personality or interesting developments, come out of nowhere. And I'm not even going to get into the metaphor of the fact that they're trying to sell out England to the Arabians or anything like that. Let's keep that for another movie. And that's actually worth it. This is just bad, and it's bad for all the reasons I said. I can't tell. The casting was good. They tried. Ben Mendelsohn was kind of hilarious in his over-the-top way, but that's about it. This is a 2 movie. Will it end up on my worst of the year? Probably not, or maybe number 10 or something like that. I've seen a lot worse, like I said, but that's what I think. Are you seeing Robin Hood? Did you see it? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and later.